Sony is planning something big. For the first time in 5 years, the first time during the PlayStation 5 generation, they are returning to Tokyo Game Show on September 26th, and the timing for this is very interesting. I want to go over what Sony is very likely preparing, the recent news that reveals what we can expect from PlayStation in the coming months and years, and way more. Of course, a like on the video would be really awesome, and let's go. But first, I'm doing a giveaway for 3 brand new PlayStation Spin Master figurines. As you can see, I got 2 of them. Let's open the Kratos one first. With Leviathan X, the Guardian Shield, and in the Survival Gear set. And I love the fact that the starting armor in Ragnarok was secretly one of the best if you would upgrade it to the max. So before we open the Horizon figurine, which is like a special package, as you can see, I want to tell you how you can win these. Head to my Instagram now for a chance of being one of Spin Master's 40 lucky winners. And there you find a post with riddles. If you can solve them, you have a chance to win. Okay, opening this box is already satisfying. Aloy looking good in her Nora outfit. And there are actually different faces with face paint that you can give her as well, which is pretty cool. Thanks Sony and Spin Master for sharing these figurines and sponsoring the video. Again, they're of very nice quality. And there is actually one for Jin Sakai as well that you can also win if you check out the link in the video description. Solve the riddle. And again, maybe you will win these. Otherwise, you can also get them. The Aloy pre-order is available right now, while the others will be available on July 15th. Now let's get back into the video. Sony has 2 console exclusives this year. Concord, the hero shooter that just had a beta for everyone who pre-ordered or had a PS Plus subscription, with the open beta for everyone next weekend starting on July 18th. The full game launches August 23rd, but 2 weeks later is the launch of Astrobot, something I'm way more excited about, because if the 5 levels that I played at Summer Game Fest are any indication, this is going to be a Game of the Year contender. But yeah, that game launches on September 6th. It's already out before Sony's big return to Tokyo Game Show on September 26th. The only other game they got coming, probably after that, is Lego Horizon. I also played that, and it's really fun that it's a different retelling of the first game, but with the typical Lego humor. They changed quite a lot, and of course co-op for the first time in the series will be fun as well. But yeah, they won't need a big booth to promote that game in Japan, and they will be bringing way more. So there are multiple wrinkles to this. First, Kojima tweeted on the same day as Sony was confirmed for Tokyo Game Show that he seems to be going as well. And that can only mean one thing, because Xbox is not attending, so it can't be the horror game he's working on for them. No, Death Stranding 2 of course. We saw the Lost trailer for the game in January during a State of Play, and in May we learned that filming and recording is complete, and that it's now entering the adjustment phase that will last for over a year. It was also said roughly a year, really hinting at a summer 2025 release, so maybe this will be the final Tokyo Game Show that they can use to promote the game. But another major part of this is the PlayStation 5 Pro. We all know it's coming, with Sony targeting the end of 2024 for its release. Developers already have access to it, so they can have their games ready for this holiday season. These developers have been talking to reporters, including Colin Moriarty, who has been right many times before. And he has been hearing that more graphical power is in particular the key focus for the hardware instead of performance. So they're really more focused on improved ray tracing and AI features to boost the resolution. My hope for this machine has always been that I hope it combines the performance and fidelity mode into one, so that the 4K 60 FPS is more common, but hard to say if that will be the case. What we do know, and this is very interesting, is that the first time people could actually see the PlayStation 4 Pro before release was at the Tokyo Game Show in 2016. 2 weeks before that, on September 7th, 2016, Sony had a live show, maybe you remember this, where Mark Cerny went a little too in-depth on all the different technical aspects of this new machine. But yeah, it really seems that history will repeat itself. Maybe no Mark Cerny thing this time, but certainly Sony doing a big show to reveal the PS5 Pro and then having it for the first time real live at Tokyo Game Show a few weeks later. Also good to keep in mind that Sony has been doing an event every September starting in 2019 that was a State of Play, and then in 2022 and 2023 we also had a State of Play in September, but in 2020 and 2021 they actually had a PlayStation Showcase in that month, and high chance we see that this year again. For one, there have been rumors already, and I just really feel that they gotta convince us why this $600 but probably $700 machine is worth the investment, and you only do that by showcasing impressive looking games like Death Stranding 2. I mean, it already looks great on the standard PS5, so it's probably going to be a big graphical powerhouse for PS5 Pro because it's of course running on the Decima engine also used for Horizon. But that is likely far from the only game. Days Gone was also really used to highlight the PS4 Pro, and the new game from the Days Gone makers might actually be running on Guerrilla's new engine as well. Civil Pineapple on Reddit namely noticed that an ex-developer at Sony Band who worked on Days Gone and stayed to work on the new IP that is in development right now that will use open world systems from Days Gone. Like, this person has been working with the Decima engine at Sony Band, so why if it's not for the new IP? And the technical state of Days Gone at launch really hurt it, so going from Unreal to Decima I think is a smart move, and this will make the game look way better as well. But also the new title from Bluepoint, the studio behind the Demon's Souls and Shadow of the Colossus remake, could be a real looker. They recently once again confirmed that they're working on an original title now for Sony and not a remake, so probably a new single player IP, which would be really cool. Because if you think about it, the only two AAA single player games from PlayStation that we know of are Death Stranding 2 and Wolverine, that is expected in 2026. And this will likely be the big tentpole title for that year because Sony now revealed the 3 types of games they will be making moving forward. I want to look at transformational first, which is primarily live service games with ongoing content, so Fair Games, Marathon from Bungie as the upcoming titles, but also that new game from the Days Gone makers, because that will also be a live service game. Experimental games showcase innovation, unlock new audiences, and target new genres. Astrobot and Lego Horizon are in that category. And tentpole releases are the major single player games from existing hit franchises or new IP with high ambition from studios with proven track records of quality and success. So this is your Spider-Man, God of War, games that are easily expected to sell 10 million but probably even 15 million plus lifetime. And we now learned that Sony plans to have at least one of these tentpole single player launches during every holiday season. Not counting this year though, but this should be starting next year in 2025. You would think that's Ghost of Tsushima 2, right? In 2025. This would be 5 years after the first game. And by the way, because of the PC release, Ghost of Tsushima 1 was the best-selling game of May 2024. Which is really crazy. Like, that sequel is going to be massive. I don't think Death Stranding 2 counts here as one of those big tentpole games, as it sold 5 million a year and a half after launch, and that is after it came out on PC. Still good for a new IP, but for comparison, God of War Ragnarok reached 5.1 million in the first week after release. So again, Wolverine in 2026, I think it's fun to look at 2027 as well. What could that game be then? Probably Naughty Dog's new IP, you would think, right? Because again, these tentpole titles could also be new IP with high ambition. Like, we know that Naughty Dog is making multiple single player games, and Neil only said recently in March that he had a concept for The Last of Us Part 3. So high chance that they're not like fully developing that yet, so that the new game they started after The Last of Us Part 2 is in fact a new IP. I know 2027 is still far away, but it also really makes sense looking at the amount of effort that goes into making something new. And then Spider-Man 3 in 2028, at least that was Insomniac's aim according to the leak at the end of last year. But I could also see Cory Barlog's new IP somewhere in there, which has also been in the works for a long time, although this year in March he said that he was seeing some early things coming together on this thing I'm working on right now, and goddamn, the people I get to work with at Sony Santa Monica are fucking beyond brilliant. Yeah, this still sounds far away, but yeah, many things point towards something big for PlayStation in September. There have been many things in the works for a long time, like the Horizon Online game that I can't wait to see. The Spider-Man 2 DLC got leaked, so should be coming at some point. There's a Hogwarts Legacy Director's Cut that I'm sure Sony wants to have the announcement for. But most of all, Sony has to show why we should upgrade to this new PlayStation 5. And the best way to do that is with promising looking new games that really benefit from the new features. Totally curious to hear your take in the comments down below. Subscribe, of course. I'll be the first to tell you more about the future of PS5 and way more games, of course. Like the video if you did. Check out the giveaway for the new figurines in the description. And you can watch our previous biggest gaming news of the week video that we post every Sunday by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.